Hello there, and welcome back to the Joe HRG podcast, where I do nothing and you sit and listen. So, today I'm going to discuss the fact that I've been on a little bit of a bad time with the uploading. I've been really bad about that, and I need to get better, and I know that the last thing I think I posted was the 18th of October, so I'll try and fix that, and try to have one as for every week from now on, or every few weeks. I'm also still doing the album picks thing on YouTube, so there's that, and so that is all I have to say for that. I did do a little bit of an experiment with CDs to to see if anyone would buy them, but I got one person to buy them, and then they were like, I don't really care. That was about it. So we'll see what Bloodroot things are like. Speaking of which, still looking for bassists for that. We still got stuff going on with all that. And, And we did do a song. We have a single. It's called something. I can't remember because I actually can't remember what the name of it was. You'll have to excuse me for 1 second while I look it up on Bandcamp. And yes, I am definitely rambling for a second just so I can get the fact. Okay, it's called Impending Age. That's what the single is called. It's called Impending Age. So yeah, that's on Bandcamp. And I want to put it on YouTube, but I haven't yet, so there's that. But yeah, that's that. And I've been a little busy recently. I've been doing sound for a high school play, although that just started this week. I still have stuff I've been up to between school and that, and the band, and having to practice for a thing called Allstate for guitar. And between all that, I forgot about the podcast. But hey, I'm back. So, I was going to talk about art for a little bit here, because the last thing I did was Art and the Artist, but I don't know. I don't really care. No one cares really about that. I mean, I can look it up again, but I was saying art. I was trying to figure out like what art is and find a pure definition, because some things you see, like modern art, not everything you see there is like actually art. It's kind of like I literally just put a toilet in front of you. I mean, I don't know how that's art. Put a dumpster fire in front of you. Yeah, I don't see how that. So for what I'm going to say real quick is what art is defined as by Google, which is a highly diverse range of human activities and creating visual, auditory, or performed artifacts. Basically saying that if it creates visual or auditory, sort of like, I don't know, feelings, senses, interpretations, that's supposedly art. I'm not sure a toilet exactly would do that. Who knows? Or like some random figure. I don't know if that stimulates. Maybe it does. Maybe it stimulates somebody, but I find it to be really weird and not really good looking. But maybe that's me. But yeah, that's sort of like my little topic about art, is sort of like I was trying to figure out what it was, what it is. But really, that's like it's a very open-ended thing. To me, art is the visual and the sound thing. Like, you have, if you're visually stunning in a good way, I mean, like, if you're like, I don't know, pick a painting, like, I don't know, like, shoot, you'd say the Last Supper painting, yeah, that is like art. But like a picture of a photoshopped, a really poorly photoshopped thing, that's not art. That's like, I don't even want to say, because the way I'd say it would come out really bad. So let's not say it like that. It just seems wrong. I'm gonna start talking about Allstate because I'm really mad about it. Not because I didn't get in, because auditions aren't due until today. However, I'm going to complain, ramble, whatever you want to call it, about how Allstate is bad. Mostly because classical musicians, really don't like when you don't do stuff exactly how it's written. I mean, that stuff is just like really painful to them, and it's really funny to me, because then there's no freedom of expression. There's no it's like, I don't know, saying a speech verbatim. There's no point to it. It's completely boring, and I think that's why even classical music has fallen in and out with people over the years. It's just, there's nowhere to push it in a place that won't let you push boundaries. I mean, one guy put a cannon in one of his concertos, but no, we don't do that anymore. We just copy and paste the same stuff that happens. I mean, there are like movie score people who do great music, but aside from them, the other people who are like in school orchestras or like other things, they all have to learn pieces, and they all have to perform in a certain way, and they all have to perform somebody else's. It destroys the freedom of expression, which is hilarious because I barely express anything. But that's my little rant about Allstate, is that it's like a classical musician's world where everyone's kind of tied up their own end, their own rear, because they're like, oh, we're better than you because we learned a piece a certain way and we learned it exactly verbatim, and you don't want to hear it where we don't want to hear it if you added some embellishment to make it sound cool. Your expression is gone, it's lost. And like, the jazz world is somehow even better than them. I guess that's how it's actually somehow every other form of music seems to outdo classical in that aspect of the whole freedom of expression, because not all the rules have to be followed necessarily. I mean, that's just kind of how it goes. You don't have to follow all the rules, but with classical music stuff, you got to. And so, yeah, that's why I hate Allstate guitar, Allstate anything, really, because you just end up playing something written. And the thing is, the guys who write that stuff specifically are only doing it to get a paycheck, because the people who write that stuff are not, like, doing well in the music world. You know what I mean? They're not, like, great famous composers. No, they're like you're a guy who graduated from a college of, like, a music school, and then, like, was like, hey, I'm gonna write these classical pieces for these kids so I can get a paycheck. Something like that. But who knows? That stuff just bothers me. So anyway, that's like my rant about sort of Allstate and art and stuff in general. It's really supposed to be open-ended, so I already apologize if I come off any way closed-minded. But really, it's up to your interpretation of what you think art is. So I'll leave that up in the air, and I'll say, stay safe, be good, have a good morning, a good evening, and a good night. Goodbye.